Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brock. Welcome to part 1 of Through the Table podcast number 21. I mean, the other thing we could talk about is we could always wait for Tom, is the top 10 there for the women in the PWI
right.
there.
Yeah, that was a strange list, but I guess, yeah, we can wait till Tom gets.
I don't get the order
No.
at all, but maybe that's just me.
as much as of a fan I am, that it's a pretty diverse list, it's a head scratcher.
Yeah, I didn't get some of the picks.
What, for the people who are in the matches?
The order they put them in. Like, nothing against Belair, but she wasn't the top woman this year.
No.
I would say maybe at best she was fourth.
I mean, I hate to say
in my mind.
I was gonna say, like, if as far as, like, you know, the I guess the kayfabe list that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anybody like? And I hate to say it, I would number one would either be Charlotte Flair or Britt Baker to me. You know what I mean?
Charlotte
I don't think
isn't even in the top 10.
Right, and that blows my mind. So I mean, I know she was off for a little bit.
Yeah.
But to not even be in the top 10, that's still kind of wild. Like,
and somehow what was it? Becky Lynch is like 15th, and she only wrestled one time, 2 matches. Yeah. I don't know when it went to press. Like, you know, what date? Like, what was the cutoff date? But it could have been just SummerSlam, really.
They had to have been, because that's crazy.
But she's in the top 20 with 1 match. It's weird.
That whole list was off.
Yeah, I don't half of it I don't get.
What was Britt Baker, 7 or something like that?
She was 4th, but I'd have her like probably 2.
I was gonna say 1 or 2. I don't know if you just heard me, Tom, but I thought either Britt Baker. Nobody had a better year than Britt Baker or Charlotte Flair.
100%.
Well, who was number 1?
Bianca Belair.
I feel that's a good number 1, especially after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree. She was great number 1 after SummerSlam.
She's in the top 5. That's as far as I would go with her.
Yeah, top 5.
I mean, no one watches Stardom, so no one's going to know about Utami. Right. You know,
yeah,
it's hands down. She had the best matches, no doubt.
But nobody.
But no one's going to vote for her because they probably haven't even watched half of her stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
But even that,
like Cyru there at 8 or 7, the same thing. She's in Stardom. They're not going to you know.
But their biggest, the Stardom's biggest star right now is what's her face, Julia.
Yeah.
And she's not even anywhere in that top 10.
No, I want to say she was in the 20s, which is like ridiculous.
It's great, yeah, especially if Becky Lynch is like you said, 15.
Yeah, she's like number 15, and she had 1 match.
She had 1 match,
and it was like an 8-second match.
Yeah.
I thought Thunder Rosa was a little bit high up on the list too. I mean, I get it for the early part of the year, but
I think it's 5. She's about where she should be.
Where is she, 5?
Yeah, she was 5.
Well, she still has that match with Brooke Baker that is arguably the best AEW match of all time.
She had a bunch of good matches. It's just you don't remember because a lot of them aren't like super high top of the card matches. But she said when she's in the match, it's really good match.
She had a really good program with Serena Deeb.
Yep.
That you know they traded back and forth for a bit. Britt Baker. I mean, just anybody you put her in there with, like she made look good. I mean, except I think the only match that to me was just. And I mean, at that point, you can't blame Thunder Rosa because her opponents were Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill. But
Nyla Rose.
Nobody can polish that turd.
Jade's so green, and then Nyla's she blows up after 2 minutes. I don't know. I'm sure she was probably in the top 20 because she's on TV all the time. I'd like to see the whole list.
I'm trying to find the whole list right now, and
I haven't been able to find it.
Charlotte's not even in the top 10, which I don't get that whatsoever. Right. I don't remember one Sasha Banks match for the entire 2021. I really don't. She disappeared for a while.
Other than WrestleMania
one.
Yeah.
She wasn't on TV until after SummerSlam.
She was doing the Mandalorian and then also potential COVID.
Right.
But the WWE will never tell you that she had COVID because that's a sign of weakness.
Oh, no, you're not allowed to do that.
That is a sign of weakness, and we cannot allow that.
No. Yeah, usually somebody has a list out by now, but I've only been able to see like a few here and there.
I've only seen that top 10.
I love Tessa Blanchard being number. Oh, sorry, that's a different list. That's last year's.
Okay. I was going to say she had no matches. If she's in the top 150, then there's something really wrong.
No, this one for some reason blended this year's, last year's, and 2019's, and I think I scrolled too far.
Like Io Shirai being 8, I think she should probably be higher.
Oh, definitely.
With Sasha really having 3 months of action, she gets number 6. I don't get that. It's just.
Where was Ripley?
What was that?
I think he said, where was Rhea Ripley?
We don't know.
Looking for her gear.
You heard which gear she used in that match after all?
No.
Damian Priest let her borrow
Priest, because he wears the same type of outfit kind of thing.
Of course he does.
Black pants with a bunch of zippers all over it. That's what she wore. Yep.
Who do you think honestly had a better year, Britt Baker or Bianca Belair?
That's a lot of B's in there. That's definitely a tough one. I mean, you could definitely make a strong case for Britt. You can make a strong case for both of them.
No, I think both of them, sure.
Yeah, you can definitely make a strong case for both of them, but regardless of what people's thoughts of AEW and WWE are, Bianca Belair main evented WrestleMania, so that puts her over the edge. And people wanted to watch that match, and that match was very good too. And the match had the result that people wanted too. Being in the building, I don't know how it transferred on TV, but being in the building, everybody loved that match. Not gonna win, and she was like very much a favorite through that weekend. So that both.
Okay.
Well,
fair enough.
And to counter that, everyone says the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match was the best match of the year for the women.
Right. And sorry that Britt Baker doesn't work in a company that affords her the luxury of main eventing a WrestleMania.
But she's the first main event for Dynamite for the women.
Exactly.
Which is kind of about the same thing because they only do 4 pay-per-views.
The argument can be made for Britt Baker as well, where she was arguably in the greatest AEW match of all time.
Women's match of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a hard one, but I do have to say, just on a like especially like I said, once again, the PWI, they do the whole like kayfabe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure that's what it is. They probably look at, okay, Bianca won the main event of WrestleMania night one. That puts her up a little higher.
Plus, they consider SmackDown like the best show on TV, and she's their champion. So that's probably how they also do it as well, a little bit.
But it's like I don't agree. I feel like Io and Deonna could have probably switched places.
Ooh, you won't hear anybody agree with that one.
Why?
Everyone on Twitter, Instagram, and internet are saying Deonna should be number one. She's hands down had all the best matches this year. I know no one watches Impact, but she has 2 titles.
But yeah,
JL does. Where is he?
Oh, he had to take the night off again.
But that's it's kind of it's like
it's really a personal opinion is what it comes down to.
Right.
It really is. I'm sure it is there too.
Right. But I guess the argument could be the same with Deonna Purrazzo as all the Stardom girls. It's like you said, it's not many people are watching it. And
well, if you notice, it's WWE, Stardom, Impact, and then AEW. So it's like they didn't want to leave anybody out and put, say, 2 AEW guys or 2 WWE guys or whatever back to back. It's almost like they wanted to spread it out and then said, after 4, we'll figure it out.
Right. And honestly, it's funny, too, because that's exactly what it is. There's 3. Yeah, 2 WWE, 2 NXT.
Yep. 3 Stardom, 2 AEW, Impact.
2 AEW, and an Impact. That's as diverse as you're going to get, I guess.
Just about.
You know what? This is bringing up a whole different thing with me. Is that I'm trying to think of WWE women right now that could be on this list, and they're supposed to be the women's revolution. I'm having a hard time thinking of women that actually did anything impactful this year that should be maybe in the top 25, top 50.
Yeah.
And then I think, all right, AEW, okay, you could argue Kristen Statlander could be in the top 25, top 30. People like that. There's just, a lot. I don't know. It's weird. You would think that like a company that prides themselves on the women's revolution. I'll get into all this later. I've got a lot to vent about.
I think NXT women probably got more spots in the main roster women by the way things look this year. Because if you go after, say, the top 2 from each brand, you're down to like Zelina Vega, Carmella that you see all the time, or Liv Morgan, which they don't push very much. I mean, if they're in the around 50, maybe, I don't know, probably somewhere in that range, 30s to 50s, maybe for them.
I mean,
they can't go any higher, really.
When does PWI drop the 500 men's, 150 women's and do a combination?
The women are involved in the men's one, but they still do a separate one for whatever reason. Because I think the highest rated woman was like 25 or 26.
I don't remember. When did they stop putting women in?
I think they did it this year, if I remember correctly.
When Nyla Rose showed up.
Speaking of, right, I know this is super random, but this just popped in my head, and I kind of feel like I have to say something about it. So, Chaotic Wrestling. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Chaotic.
Yeah.
So right now, their champ is Davienne, right?
Yes.
Just chick. Okay. Right. Didn't they just announce that they're having this like pan sexual something or other? Like, you know what I mean? I forget what it was called, but it was like a genderless title.
Yep.
But then they still have a women's title.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you have a women's title, a pansexual title, and then you have a woman as your heavyweight champ. It's almost like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like at that point, you take away all the title. You give it like a whatever. You don't need a women's title.
Yeah, there are women all throughout the top 500 this year.
Well, good for them.
very inclusive.
Yes. It's great.
Very inclusive 500.
Mm-hmm. I had to make sure, like Masha Slamovich is 420. Allie Catch is like 111. So yeah, they're in there.
Now my thing is how many people at PWI have actually seen an Alley Catch match, and it's just not the fact that she's literally every goddamn way you have a wrestling show, she shows up, and it's the craziest thing. I mean, she's a great wrestler. I'm a fan.
And somehow Trish Adora is the highest rated woman in that top 500. At number 22.
Really 22.
Yeah. But she doesn't make the women's top 10.
That's
as I said, they should just take them out if they're going to do the separate one, because it doesn't make any sense if you have them all scattered around. So what's the point? I guess you don't have 500 guys you can fill it with, maybe.
I feel like the Trish Adora pick right there, as you know, same thing. She's good, but I feel like that's to get woke points. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Oh, for sure.
African American female, like just, oh yeah, number 22.
Yep.
It's once again, how many people on the PWI staff have probably even seen a Trish Adora match?
Maybe Apter, no one else. Or maybe this is Apter's list. Don't ask me who works for him anymore.
Sometimes I feel like they just go on Twitter and they're like, all right, what's the top? Like, just what's in our Twitter feed? You know, and that's top 100 for the first 150 girls in our Twitter feed.
Or they ask Meltzer to give them a list and then they just randomly put it in order.
I feel like that's how the WWE does their booking, though, too. Who's trending on Twitter? Quick, Michael Cole, let us know.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Through the Table podcast. I'm JL with the Juventud Wrestler of the Week. It's got to be NWA executive producer, co-executive producer, and performer Mickie James from Impact Wrestling. She put on a hell of a pay-per-view a couple weeks ago called Empower for Women. And also, she did a hell of a job this week in re-debuting with Impact Wrestling. The reactions seemed genuine and real, and she seemed really excited to be there to perform. And it was just a really good show. This weekend, she's fighting, of course, Diana Prazo, the Prodigy, or whatever. So she'll be there this week. Oh, the Virtuoso. That's what her name is. So, yeah. You have any questions or anything like that, definitely send it through our YouTube channel. Again, this is JL signing off.
Thank you for watching part 1 of Through the Table podcast. Part 2 will be available soon.